Ronnie, Nelson, thank you for joining me again today.
It's good to be back.
What's up, Big Kurt? Big Kurt.
I know you guys got to see my days of having to put toys together and build bikes and all that kind of shit. That's been done for years. So I know with you and your young kids and stuff, and still having to put bikes and trampolines and all that kind of shit together.
Hello Kitty bikes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We used to. I don't know how you all do it, but in our household, we would just. I'd get done like at 4 a.m. So I'm like, all right, we're up.
Yeah.
Let's get them up now. It's like, Santa's here. So get your ass up and go back to sleep.
Things are different now, man.
Yeah?
Now we just we woke up around 9 a.m.
Yeah, but you must have had everything built beforehand.
No.
You built it at 9 a.m.?
No, I didn't build anything. Just they open it up and
Then he builds.
fix it later on. We got homes to go to. I don't have time to, and I'm too tired too. So
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of patience and energy to.
When's the last time you had to did you ever put a bike together?
Yeah, I mean,
You didn't do that at 9 a.m.
no. Hell no.
I always hate that shit because the bolts never lined up with the way that, here's the directions, and then your
They're
wife's
not
sitting
even
there.
in English anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Like, the directions make no sense.
No, and that's the thing. And then your wife's sitting there going, just follow the directions. What do you think I'm doing? This damn bolt isn't on the damn directions.
Well, the bike that I got, it came with generic directions for all of their bikes. They make like 100 bikes.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, it might be like this. So I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah.
Well, I know you guys, you work full-time jobs, and you have your families, which is another full-time job, especially when you have kids. And like I said, I did my time, so I don't have to go through the things you guys go through. Yeah. So I'm probably not as tired as you are. So thanks for coming in today. What I wanted to do for today's show, I still want to do that Facebook one. I was so tempted to, but we'll do that on the next one. But because what I wanted to do is do a breakdown of 2020. Yeah. And as I said before we started the show, I went back over some of the things that went on this year, and I was like, I can't believe that was this year. That seemed like 2 years. This has been a long ass year.
Definitely.
And and it's still not over. so
I know,
it's like the end of the world right now.
I know, fingers crossed. I'm like, please just nothing else, nothing else. So, of course, it really started with COVID-19, the pandemic.
Yeah.
And, we found people working from homes. Of course, you don't work from home, and you don't work from home because you can't.
We're essential workers.
Right, exactly. And so we had communal isolation basically for a while, and then we had social distancing, which wearing the mask, and then we have businesses that were locked down, and we kind of did everything half-assed. And I think that's why we're still in the situation that we're in.
Yeah, we haven't recovered at all.
No.
Yeah. And wouldn't you say that's why?
Yeah. I mean, and they're thinking about doing it again, maybe in a second shutdown.
And see, here's
2021.
Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with the shutdown, but shut the motherfucker all the way down. Yeah. Stop everything. And enforce what you're going to. If you're going to say everyone has to show social distance, everyone needs to wear a mask, enforce it. Don't sit there and pitter-pat around these fat asses who don't want to wear a mask. I'm telling you, this pisses me off so much. It's because I'm a Libra, and we're all about justice. And I'm telling you, look, if the rules apply to me, they apply to you. Yeah. I went to Planet Smoothie today. One bitch in there. One.
It's always
one
Karen.
Fat bitch, and she's got her damn mask down underneath her nose. That's not how you wear a mask there, right. Karen. But, seriously. And it's like it's always the fat people and the old people who are the most reluctant to follow the things. Yeah. Then they're the ones most at risk. Right. And I go, I don't wish death on anybody, but if you die, you do realize this is because you're stupid. You realize that, right? But they just think, I don't know what they think. Seriously, I just want to smack them in the head.
Well, there's too many mixed media information out there.
Internet.
Right. But
They don't know what to believe.
I go back to being when I was a Boy Scout. Be prepared. You know what? If it's all bullshit, it's all bullshit. But you know what? If it's not, guess who ain't getting sick?
Right.
This motherfucker. Because I'm not,
Indeed.
you know,
Yeah,
God,
indeed.
I always do this when you two are on the show. I curse too much. I gotta stop. Because that's just how,
It's
you
the
know.
comfort level.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, I got to make sure I don't do like I did last time. I wait too many F-bombs that time.
Just put a jar here with coins and
Yeah, exactly. I'll go broke. So I guess the question is that do individual rights supersede the safety of society as a whole? I mean, I understand individual rights, and I understand some of these people have a legitimate complaint, but before you answer the question, I just want to go, look, if this is all fake, there's no harm, no foul. You wore a mask, so what? You know, there's not an imprint on your face that's going to last there forever because you wore a mask.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a mild inconvenience to protect yourself and to protect society. So why be an ass about it, honestly? And do your rights supersede the rights of society? If I know that if I know that you have the flu, do you have the right to come into work and get everybody else sick at work?
Exactly.
You know, I say fuck no. Oh,
Yeah,
there I do
it's-
again. So,
it's a gray area because like people don't want to be told what to do, but we don't have anarchy. There's you can't just go protest wherever you want, or
Right.
you can't scream fire in an airplane. Or
don't
anything
tell
like
people
that.
in Michigan that. Don't
Yeah.
tell those.
So it's I get it, but I don't think there's a right answer, and I think that's the problem.
Well,
There is no answer.
it's real because I had got COVID in the beginning stages of it when it first came because I work in the gym.
Right.
I ended up getting it, and it was one of the worst things I ever got. I lost 25 pounds. It started with horrible fevers. My wife was going to rush me to the
It's a
hospital.
new diet.
That's
horrible.
why fat people keep taking off their masks.
Yeah,
They
man.
think they can lose weight.
They need it. Hey,
Damn.
if you want to lose weight, get COVID.
Yeah.
It
That's
takes
probably
away
what
your
they're
sense of
doing.
Smell, your sense of your taste, and everything is horrible. It's
I don't
horrible.
think anyone's saying that it's not real.
Oh, there are. There
Yeah.
are
There's
people.
actual
I
people
know,
that
but I know what you're saying.
People are
As
dying.
a whole,
You can't deny the
no,
death.
they
Yeah.
can. They are
Yeah.
denying it. But you're right. I think the majority of people, even the ones who are against wearing masks and social distancing, I don't think they deny it. They just go, well, it's less than 1%, death rate.
Yeah.
Well, still, who wants to get
Right.
sick to where like what you felt,
Yeah.
where you lose 25 pounds? I don't,
Yeah.
Stay home.
Okay, and that's
There's Amazon,
right,
order
and
whatever
that's
you need.
and that's the legit. I've said that too. I go, well, you can get everything you want. But if I stay home, I'm gonna make you pay for my delivery for my Planet Smoothie. I think that's only fair. I have to stay home because you don't want to wear a mask. Then you can pay for my delivery. I don't. You're right. There's no right answer except this.
Right.
Just be considerate and thoughtful of
Yeah,
others.
man.
I think that's the right answer.
Because it can kill somebody. Like
Right.
It can actually kill somebody. Now, I'm in shape. I'm in the best shape of my
Right.
life. And look how hard it hit me.
Right,
Now,
exactly.
what if I wasn't? What if I was just out
Well,
of
yeah.
shape? And I think it might have probably killed me. It
And
might.
The businesses, you're seeing the signs. Some businesses don't care. You just walk in there. Other ones have the sign. Hey, wear your mask,
Right.
or we can ask you to leave. So
Well, that's it, and that's the thing. It's like so you're right. Some of the businesses are enforcing it, and some aren't. And in Orlando, in Orange County, you can be shut down if you don't enforce, or you can be fined. And I went to this restaurant. I won't name it because I actually like the restaurant. The manager sat these 3 fat fucks down at a table without a mask, and I'm like, "What the hell are you doing?" Why do you allow these people in here if they're not going to follow the rules? If I make a phone call,
Right.
you could be shut down or your business could be fined. And guess what? The owners are going to be pissed at you for not following the rules. I know you're not supposed, and this is the problem, is that these people who don't want to wear a mask, they know that people don't want to confront them. And so they'll go ahead and pull this shit because, they know that these servers, they have a hard enough job as it is. The last thing they want to do is deal with some asshole who can't, be mature enough to follow a simple rule like put your damn mask on.
Yeah.
So I get that, but
I mean, it's inconvenient. I don't like to wear it, but if
especially
the
at
place
your
I go
job.
to requires it, then I put it on. Take it with you, put it on.
I don't think anyone likes wearing them. But it's,
Some people, like my wife, has to wear them for 8 hours, 10 hours straight at a job.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when these people sit there and complain, like about wearing, I go, how would you feel when you go to the dentist if they didn't wear a mask, or when you go to the doctors or the hospital and they don't wear a mask and they're breathing in your face?
Right.
I guarantee you would be bitching about them wearing a mask, but because you have to, all of a sudden, and this bullshit with the. I have a medical condition. Your medical condition is that you're an asshole. That's your medical condition.
They also have service dogs and
of course, yeah. That's
service
a
parrot or something.
Yeah, or iguana or whatever. It's like, I can't fly without my iguana.
Yeah.
Okay, then you shouldn't be flying. You should take a bus, like what's his name from the Raiders?
John Madden.
Yeah, John Madden. There you go.
I think it's crazy though, like, because I think there were people who were infected and got others infected on purpose. There's people out there. If I get infected, I'm going to infect everybody else.
Yeah, and that's
because I literally, when in the height of it, no lie, I went to go to a restaurant and I was outside waiting for my food. They're going to bring it out to my car. I watched the lady come out of the restaurant, right, wiping her nose, and then touch the doorknob for no reason.
Oh,
and then,
bitch.
And then, I said the same. I was like, "You bitch!" Right? But that was, she did it once, and then she did it again when she was talking on the cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
She rubbed her nose again and touched the doorknob.
Well, there was that NBA player that was joking around. When the whole COVID thing,
right? Yeah, and he
started coughing on the microphone. Turns out he was positive, and then the dude that came onto the mic right after him tested positive.
So I have a question for you both, because I'll tell you what I would do. Now, I watch way too much YouTube, but I fucking love YouTube, and I watch these Karens, they'll when they're being filmed, and they'll get up in that person's face and start coughing. I will punch you. I will knock you come over here trying to cough in my face. I will knock you out. I think I will win in a court of law. I really do. I think if I go to court, because you're purposely, it's like spitting, You come up and I don't know if you're infected or not.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch you right in the face and knock your ass out.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised no one's done that yet.
I'm sure it's happened. It's just not on YouTube.
Yeah, that might be. It's like
we're
not going to put this.
Turn the camera off.
Exactly. We're not going to put that.
Do you think as society we're becoming more tribal? Because I trained this lady from Toronto, and she was saying, that she likes it down here because they're not as strict with the mask. Because in Toronto, they'll throw rocks at you and they'll jump you if you're not wearing a mask. They beat you down.
I don't know that I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because again,
I think people are taking it like. I mean, I understand. I get upset when I'm at a place with my kids and my wife, and we're all wearing masks, and somebody comes in not wearing a mask. But then again, I'm not gonna walk up to them and.
I think there's a false sense of security with the mask too, because people think that I got my mask on, I'm not going to get sick.
Safe. No.
A lot of the people that get infected were wearing their masks,
right? And I don't
around other people wearing their masks.
But they're touching.
I don't think people think that the masks are 100%. I don't think anyone believes that. But even if it's 20%, if 20% less risk of getting it because you wear a mask, then that's something we should probably do.
I mean, even if it's 1%, which is probably around less than 10%, but it's still protection. It's some kind of protection.
It's some kind of protection, and it's a sign of respect too.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, and that's what it is. And and I get, because sometimes I really have to watch myself, because I was in another restaurant and this guy walks in without a mask, and I go, and I said to him, because I don't want to be the mask Nazi.
Kurt's moving to Toronto,
right? No, because I know there are mask Nazis out there, just like looking who's not wearing a mask.
Right,
Now, I'm not that person.
So you hit him with a rock?
Yeah, no, I was. Yeah, I won't even tell you what happened there, but he's lucky he got out of there alive. That's all I got to say. He was one of those little Chihuahua yapping dogs, like blah 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 blah, and as he's backing up, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. So, but it's like why go out of your way and put people in that position?
True.
and make them feel uncomfortable. They're working there. You're putting them at risk. And now you're making them confront you when they don't want to do that. Yeah. They just want to do their job. So just be an adult. Quit acting like a petulant little child who's not getting your way, and just put the damn mask on. It's not going to kill you. It's not. Yeah. COVID-19, it might. It might, yeah. So, and the last thing I'll say about the pandemic and this whole nonsense was the craziness of people going out and stockpiling toilet paper.
Yeah, what's up with the whole toilet paper thing? I don't know.
I was like, go buy yourself a bidet. I mean, what the hell?
I got COVID in the height of it, and I didn't have to take not one shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it gave you diarrhea.
It didn't do nothing to me. I didn't take a shit for weeks or something like that.
Yeah, because you probably didn't eat because you didn't have no taste or smell.
The thing is, we don't run out normally, so why?
Right.
It's so weird. But see, what is that, though? How? Why? How did the whole toilet paper thing happen?
It's probably because people thought they were going to be locked in their house forever.
Yeah, and that's what it was.
But in China, they were stealing toilet paper. It was like a whole toilet paper pandemic. Like
they're probably selling it to us on eBay.
They were. Well, that's what happened. In fact, again, another YouTube video I saw. This crazy ass lady had a pickup, and she had bought all this toilet paper. Yeah. And they refused to let her sell on Amazon or eBay because of it. Because Amazon and eBay, to their credit, said, no, we're not going to let you do that. We're not going to let you sell this shit on there and mark it up because you want to be a dick. You know, you can call it capitalism. Wow. This is where we talk about greedy capitalism, and it bleeds over to the everyday person where they're like, oh, let's make a few bucks off of people who are in need.
Right.
Why? We're all going through this together, and your only thought is how can I profit from people's misery? That's God. I need a jar. That's messed up. Yeah, man.
That whole toilet paper is crazy, man. It doesn't make any sense. I just sat there.
I never had a problem. I went to the ghetto.
Why are we fighting?
There was plenty of toilet paper in the ghetto.
I'll tell you afterwards where I find mine all the time.
Go to Titusville.
Yeah.
Dollar General right in the middle of the
it's
the shootouts.
People were telling me to go to Dollar General over there at Titusville.
Yeah.
To go way out there. But I woke up early in the morning and grabbed one at Publix, man.
Well, I did that the first day. And then when I got to Publix, they wouldn't let me in because they had the first hour or two just for seniors.
Oh, for the elderly.
And stuff like that. So by the time I got in there, it was gone. I was like,
It's funny that the very first day when everything was going crazy, I stood outside and I was wondering why it was so crowded, But they all ran to go get toilet paper and stuff to clean. I ran to get food.
Yeah.
I swear, when Publix was running, where you had to go down the aisle a certain way, and then these asshole people going down the wrong way, I was like, I'm going to ram my cart right into them. I'm going to go, you're going the wrong way. But I was like, no, just
let it go.
Let it go.
It's like IKEA.
I'll be fighting with people all day long over stupid shit.
You're going the fucking wrong way, man.
Exactly. Like, can't you read?
No.
There was a couple of times that I went the wrong by accident, but there was nobody in the aisle.
Right.
I was like,
I've done that too. And I was like, oh shit, hope no one's looking.
That was tough. But you know what? I was like, I didn't want to go back all the way around to get what I wanted to get.
Right.
I was like, man, fuck it, let me just go this way.
Just leave the cart and run.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to go, I hope I don't see Kurt down this aisle.
Yeah. Oh, shit, there's Kurt. I got to turn around. Damn it. It's going to take me another 10 minutes to get bread.
Well, all right. So we had COVID-19, the pandemic, which we still have, and I think we're all in agreement that if we're going to do another lockdown or shutdown or mask mandate or whatever, do it all out, get it done with, and let's move on.
Yeah, but pass a stimulus package so we can stay home with money, pay for our rent.
Yeah, I got stimulus down here somewhere. We're going to talk about
if they would have done that from the beginning and did us monthly payments or something, we would have knocked this out in 3 months probably.
Well, I can tell you right now, we can blame the Democrats, we can blame Pelosi, we can blame Trump, we can blame everybody because everybody's a little bit at fault. Yeah. But Mitch McConnell, that traitorous bitch, is the main reason why we're suffering still. Yeah. And how the hell you people in Kentucky keep voting for this traitorous jackass? Yeah. You have got to either be the most corrupt people. And I don't care if anybody in Kentucky never listens to this show. If you voted for that asshole, don't bother. Because I know you won't listen to this show. Man. How? How does he keep getting reelected? You want to talk about voter fraud? If there's voter fraud, it's going on in Kentucky because
The guy is so old, his skin is coming off his bones. It's like
he's a turtle.
He's like 100 years old.
Yes,
you know? It's
because he's a
why
turtle.
do we keep on voting for these 90, 100-year-old people who don't know what the hell is going on?
Oh, he knows what's going
Well, I
on.
know
He's
he-
lining his pockets. That's what's going on.
He's making that money. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get to more about how he's doing that. This was also the year of the killing of Breonna Taylor, which was in March. Ahmaud Arbery, which was in February, and then of course George Floyd in May. And that just seems like God. It seems so long ago.
All in 1 year. Right?
Yeah, all 1 year, but
Pretty
it seems
close
like
together though too.
yeah, it was February, March, and cops took April off and came back in May. You know, so
Hey, slow down with the killing. Slow
right,
down.
exactly.
They're gonna catch on.
That's exactly it. And then, of course, because of that, we had the riots and the protests and Black Lives Matter. And I'm telling you, it seems like we've been arguing about that for at least a couple years, but it's only been, it hasn't even been a year yet.
Right.
And so, I go, how are we still at this point? When we look back, and I remember Richard Pryor talking about this shit back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
In his comedy act.
On the Sunset Strip.
And then we had Rodney King in 92.
Right.
Here it is, almost 30 years later.
That was April too, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. 30 years later, and we're still, I don't want to say things haven't gotten better because they have. I think overall as a whole, it's gotten better. But I think because of social media, because of camera phones,
Yes.
now we see just
How horrible it is.
It's always been this horrible or worse, but we could never document
always.
it. Now we can document the hell out of it, and we see it happening all the time. So it makes it seem like it's worse than it's ever been. But the truth of the matter is, it's always been this bad, if not worse. It's just always been hidden, and now these cops, they can't hide anymore. Of course, now even though they're exposed, they still don't get punished.
They still don't get punished. Yeah.
It's not an excuse, but it's a tough job.
Oh,
These guys they're put in horrible situations with improper training, low pay, and a chance of not going home every night.
okay. So let me play devil's advocate. I used to be a cop for a couple years.
Yeah.
Now I made a choice. It's not my bag of tea because I saw what went on. I saw the racism in it. I saw the favoritism of people in power. I saw the toxicity within the departments that teach all new recruits the same thing. It's them against us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't like the pay, if you don't like the danger, if you can't handle it, get the hell out.
Yeah.
Go find a different job.
But then what do you got left? Because now you got guys with hero complexes that are
Right.
just looking
Well, see, that's the issue. So it's not that they can't do something else. It's their personal problem because they want to be a hero.
Right.
But you're not a hero when you shoot an unarmed woman because you're afraid for your life. If you're that friggin' scared, you are in the wrong business. Yeah. And I only
did we ever get all the facts on that case? Because I heard like 30 different.
Yeah, there was a lot, and I think again,
because the one of the official stories was the boyfriend fired one shot
right
at the police, and then the police shot her 6 times, I believe.
Here's the thing: it's like regardless. When you're a cop, you're expected, and this is where I always have this argument where people go, oh, well, good citizens should carry guns. And I say, no, they shouldn't. And here's why. You have trained cops, poorly trained, mind you, but trained cops who have more training than average Joe citizen out there, and they are making mistakes constantly. So now you're saying, oh, I should
Somebody
let
with no
Joe
training.
Q citizen with no training have a gun. And then when someone opens fire in a movie theater, this guy's going to know the right person to shoot? Hell no. I'm going to be just as worried about getting shot by him as I am the person who started the shooting. I don't need him to be the hero to come and rescue me. I don't need to worry about 2 shooters now instead of just one.
Well, it slipped my mind. The club. Remember that terrorist attack at the club over
The
here?
Pulse.
Pulse.
Mm-hmm.
You remember half those people? They got killed by police officers, right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't know that?
No.
That's been under investigation. I remember reading about it, that all these journalists were doing an investigation on it. A lot of them who were still alive were getting shot by the police because they came in there with just shooting. The police were just shooting.
Yeah.
The SWAT team came with just shooting crazy.
And
so they had to investigate which bullet came from either the
Right,
terrorists or the police officers. You know what I mean? And they stopped talking about it. It's been laid low. I'm gonna try to investigate and take a look into it, but it like disappeared.
yeah,
not talking about it,
somebody should go back and do a story to say, okay, however many years it's been now,
Because
and see what happened.
I know somebody who's in the post incident there, and he told me everything that happened and the way he was treated when he was crawling out because he had blood all over him from dead bodies.
Yeah,
they treated him as if he was one of the shooters.
right.
You know what I mean? Yelling at him, dragging him. I mean, just like.
And I get that they have to make sure that that there isn't. They don't know how many shooters are in there. They don't want them to try to escape, but they're not going anywhere. You don't have to treat them that way.
Right.
You can sit there and you can make sure that they're watched, that they're not going anywhere. So if, in case they are one of the shooters, they're not getting away. But that's their mentality. That's how it's like they shoot somebody and the guy's dead and they'll still handcuff him. They're not checking for his pulse or anything. They're just
that's kind of ridiculous, isn't it?
It's beyond ridiculous. And
look, I did loss prevention for 7 years at JCPenney's, right? Yeah. Dude, all I had was a handcuffs and a walkie-talkie. Yeah, I got into fights, but ask me if I threw one punch. I didn't have to punch none of these people.
Right.
I fought some big dudes high on drugs, you name it. You asked them. I got the proof, right? Yeah. But all I had was a walkie-talkie and handcuffs, Kurt. I had no gun. I had no taser. And here I am controlling these people like nothing, by myself.
But they're all desensitized,
Well, it's not only
they know someone that, they're going to funerals,
they're not going to that many funerals. Here's the thing. That's the thing. They're not going to that many funerals. And when they do go to funerals, you think that, that this was some sort of, like the president, the damn funerals are so, but when they kill somebody, what does that person get?
Yeah.
What kind of send off do they get?
Well, a police officer is just a regular citizen with a uniform and a badge. They're no different than us.
But that's
we want to look at them like superheroes. When we were young, I looked at police officers, soldiers like superheroes.
They don't live in our world, though.
They live in their. But that's part of the problem, though, is they only hang out with other cops.
Yes.
And that's that whole them against us mentality.
Yes.
And
that's
so
the problem.
when you're desensitized, like you said, on top of it's a them against us mentality. That's how they're going to treat you, because they treat you as a combatant, whether you are or not.
Yes.
That's how they treat you. I mean, you could not pay me enough money to call the police department for anything. If someone's breaking into my house, I'll take care of it. I'm not calling them because, and especially if I were black or a person of color, there's nothing that could convince me to call the cops.
How many times have you seen any police officer stop a crime? In the middle of a crime,
it's very seldom.
It's very seldom, right? Have you ever seen it?
But that's part of the problem, is that they're called after the fact.
But where are they looking?
The crime is already done. Someone's already been shot.
Right, but when you're doing an investigation, you have to use some tact and diplomacy. And to them, they don't have to, because they think I'm the authority. I can act and say whatever I want to do and screw the citizens.
I've seen them treat victims like shit.
Oh yeah.
Like women that have been abused and stuff like that. Yeah. They call the police, and they're the ones that get arrested all of a sudden.
Listen,
because they're freaking out. They got their ass whooped, blood is on their face, and then the police officer gets upset because they're upset, and they get handcuffed and thrown in the fucking car.
They're saying, calm down.
Like
you have blood running down your face and see if you're going to be
it's
calm.
Insane.
Right.
It's just insane.
So I know we could sit on this topic forever, and again, as Nelson pointed out, they have a tough job. I've done the job. I know it's not something I want to do, because I know that there's so much that goes on with it. You start doubting if your wife is cheating. You wonder if she's being faithful or she's cheating on you. Because
the divorce rate is
astronomical. Because every time you go to a domestic disturbance, it's because of that. So you think all relationships are like this, and so there's so much you have to deal with. But dude, you got to get a grip. Yeah. If you can't handle it, get the hell out and do something else. Go put on a Superman cape and go do kids' birthday parties or something if you want to be a hero.
Same
Not,
thing,
not
yeah.
everybody.
I know.
Not everybody can be a police officer or a soldier or a firefighter. Not everybody can do it.
Right.
And there's no infrastructure there set up to help these guys, the good ones that are out there, because there are good police officers, but
Yeah,
there are, but unfortunately,
if they step up, you know what happens.
right. That's what I was just
Exactly,
going to say.
yeah,
Unfortunately, if they step up, they're not long
but they're
for.
the ones like you that just leave.
Well,
They go do something.
then
else.
here's what we do. I say, look, if the problem is that we don't have enough good police officers, and there's all this corruption, and there is. I mean, from the top down, this stuff doesn't get away unless the top is just as corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Then what we do is we pay them a hell of a lot more money. We won't need nearly as many police officers, and we just hold them to a much higher standard. The training should be just like in Germany, where it's 2 years long, not 6 months at a junior college.
And they need time off. It should be
Right.
Yeah, time off, yeah.
a week on, a week off, and
Yeah.
that week off you're training, to handle whatever situation that you're. They have they got a shooting test once a year that they got to pass, and I mean.
And none
I
of
could
them have to
pass that
pass
blindfold.
a physical test anymore. I mean, I've seen some of these cops who are
just
like,
in the beginning.
yeah, it's just like
It's crazy. They have to make a lot of changes.
They do. And so, and you would think that if there were good cops at the top, they would go, you know what? And I think there are some good sheriffs out there who are trying to reform their departments, and it's it's an uphill battle for them because because everyone else is saying don't rock the boat because they're too busy getting away with the shit they've been getting away with for decades, so if not longer. But and unfortunately, until it does change, there are going to be more Breonna Taylors, there are going to be more George Floyds, and Ahmaud Arbery. So and it's I can understand why people of color are up in arms, and for white people to sit there and open their mouths at all and say stupid shit like not only all lives matter, but if you don't do anything wrong, you don't. No, you have no. Not
true.
like you don't
That's
know.
not true, dude.
No, it's not. And when I have a guest on this show who is one of the most upstanding citizens in this community, who tells me that when he gets pulled over, he's white, and he goes, and they talk down to me like they're like I've just committed a crime or something if they pulled me over, and I go, and he said, and it leaves this bad taste in my mouth, and I go, yeah, and you're only getting a small portion of what people of color get, They're not going to sit there and they might speak with you at a certain tone, but they're not going to use certain language with you that they use with people of color.
Right.
Exactly.
Totally different.
Yeah. So you're right. Until that gets until it changes, I'm afraid there's going to be more of this going on, and we can expect more protests and riots. I just want to say this: I'm all about protesting. I understand the riots. I don't agree with them, but I also can go, you know what? I understand it. But I will tell you this: if you're going to riot, don't burn down the damn, stores that are privately owned that are in your community. You want to go burn down a Target or Walmart? Have at it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because someone would go burn down Walmart and go, Kurt Powers told me to go burn down Walmart, and then then they'll try to make me pay for it.
Target had nothing to do with somebody being shot, so it still doesn't make
No,
any sense.
here's the thing, though. It's
They'll
like
burn a police car,
right?
do something like
but and that
Don't
that would
do
make
it.
more sense. But what it is that they feel like that the vandalism that's been going on to them as a people.
Yeah.
That when we get the stimulus package and we get $1,200 and 30% of that stimulus package went to the people, and the rest of it went to corporations or government agencies, how are we still getting screwed over? How did this happen? Mitch McConnell, that's how it happened. And
crazy.
And so they feel like we keep getting screwed. So why the hell should we care about these businesses? So I understand that, but again, I'm with you. I would go after the police departments. I'd burn the police departments down. I'd burn their cars down.
They only do that when a sports team wins a championship, like the
Yeah.
Dodgers, right? The Dodgers win,
and
then
I
they
get.
They got the balls to do it then, right? The Chicago Bulls won. Let's do this.
Yeah,
they're
that
flipping
never
over police
that
cars
never
and-
makes sense to me. But I know that these people are opportunists for the most part. The real rage should come in the protesting. But one thing about protesting, people don't stand out in the middle of a goddamn highway and hold up traffic, because the people you're holding up are people who are probably on your side. And the only one you're inconveniencing are them. You want to go hold up traffic, go down to Capitol Hill and hold up the fucking senators and congressmen or the cops who are sitting there and who keep voting against you so that this stuff still happens to you. Quit hurting the people who are your supporters. And that, they go, oh, well, it brings attention. Yeah, it brings the wrong kind of attention. These people can go, you know what? I was for all Black Lives Matter, but I'm trying to get my grandmother to the doctors, and these bitches are out there holding me up. Guess what? Fuck Black Lives Matter. That's what's going to happen, because you can't turn on the people who are supporting you.
Right. But,
that's my 2 cents.
Like always, when you have a movement, it's always going to be tainted with some bad people. They're going to get in,
right,
and ruin the movement. And I think that's what happened. Black Lives Matter has gotten so big, so big, and it's not in control no more.
They didn't have a leader.
There's no leader. Yeah,
that's it right there. They have no leader.
There's not one. A solid leader.
You can't cut the head off the snake because there isn't one.
Right.
But there's also no direction either. And so like you said, you have these people who come in and start these things, and they under the name of Black Lives Matter, and maybe the people who are in Black Lives Matter go, I don't want that to be us, but they can't do anything about it because they're not leading. So
there's no accountability either that way.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but it's a messed up way to do things, because you don't ever get things accomplished that way. You can cause riots and stuff, but nothing's going to get accomplished because there's no one to negotiate with.
Right. Exactly.
All right, let's see here. Next one, deaths of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which that was a hard loss. John Lewis, and of course Kobe Bryant and Chadwick Boseman. I mean, I'm like 2020 has been a bitch. Yeah. It's like,
a ton of other people in there too.
Oh yeah,
those are just
these are just some of the top names that were out there that just quality people, and just went way too soon.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Ruth, because she was getting up there, but still,
she was expected. But
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, Kobe was
tough
one.
one. Yeah. I remember that when we were doing JKD, we were practicing JKD in the park, and I remember looking out at all these people, and everybody like froze in time. They were all looking at their phones. Everybody at the basketball court froze.
Yeah.
Everybody, and then all of a sudden, my student told me, "Oh my God, Kobe Bryant's dead." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, somebody told me. I was like, "No way." Man.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He's our age. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. See, that's the problem with social media, because they post so much bullshit on there. Like, someone's dead.
You can't believe it.
Right, and you go, no, they're not. And
yeah,
so
Jackie Chan died like 20 times.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so when it actually happens, you have to go and double check everything to make sure it's for real, So.
And I know it's more than just Kobe. He's obviously the star, but his daughter.
His daughter. Yeah, that's what hurt the most.
His friend and her. Yeah. It was his daughter's teammate. They were going to a basketball game.
There were kids on there.
Yeah,
that's what hurt. That freaked me out the most right there. Because I got kids, man. That freaked me out the most. I can imagine his last few seconds with his daughter. You know what I'm saying? God, I hate thinking about it, Kurt.
Yeah,
I do. I hate thinking about it. I don't like thinking about it. Damn, that's got to be the freakiest shit and horrible shit in the world, man. When it comes to having kids and you're with them and you're gonna see them for the last time.
Yeah, because there's nothing he could have
couldn't
said or done.
Right.
To be a helpless dad, that's like, ugh.
Yeah, that's the worst. When there's just nothing you can do.
Nothing.
It's just the worst.
Yeah, man, that's tough. Damn, hate talking about it.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to something else. Which again, this seems so long ago, but Harvey Weinstein finally went to prison for his sex crimes.
Is he in, or is he in the hospital? Like, what's?
I don't know where he's at right now.
Suddenly, he was fine. He was this predator, and now he's in a cane and can barely
Of course.
move.
Well, that's what they all do. That's what Bill Cosby did. Bill Cosby comes in all like feeble, like he's a 100-year-old man.
They're told
of course they are.
To make them feel sorry so people can feel sorry for them.
Nobody. I don't feel sorry for any of them.
Nah, he's fucking rapists, man.
Because here's the thing. I don't know about judging people by who they are today.
Yeah.
Those men they haven't changed one bit. They are still
No.
the same,
the casting
predators.
couch. This has
Yeah,
been going on
they're the same
forever.
predators they've always been. And
Yeah.
so how can you have, sympathy for somebody who doesn't, who continues doing it?
And Hollywood protected them.
Yep.
They still do.
Yep.
Hollywood protected them. There's celebrities that been with Weinstein for a long time and didn't say a damn word. There's been a couple of celebrities who spoke out.
Yeah, some of them
like
spoke
Brad
out.
Pitt. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Brad
some
Pitt
of
said he
the-
was going to
yeah.
beat the shit out of him next time he
Yeah,
tries
there was
to
a few,
do something with Gwyneth. Or something,
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but who's the black actor who?
Terry
who-
Crews?
Yeah, Terry Crews. Where Terry Crews is a big dude, and Harvey Weinstein. I would have.
I don't think it was Harvey Weinstein. It was one of the managers of the agency.
I thought he said Harvey did.
No, it wasn't Harvey. It was somebody else who's known in the Hollywood, like some big either producer or agent. Went up to him. They were at a party, and he went up to him and grabbed his
See,
stuff.
that takes some. How do you do that? How do you grab a big man like that and think, "Oh, I can get away with this"?
Yeah.
That takes some balls.
The Harvey, the one he grabbed was James Vanderbeek from Dawson's Creek.
Really?
He assaulted him. Yeah, he was the first guy to come out in the Me Too
Weinstein
movement.
grabbed
yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Well, there's been a couple people. What's the other guy? Oh my God, what's his name? The other actor from House of Cards.
Oh, Spacey.
Spacey?
Yeah,
Kevin Spacey got caught.
Or Spacey,
they're
yeah.
coming out about him too.
But there's a lot. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
part of the whole Epstein flight log too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy man. I always remember when me and Tim we were talking to some guy who was working on Superman Returns, and it had Kevin Spacey. It had Bryan Singer, who's also got caught.
He got
He's
busted.
he's disappeared too. He's laying low. He's busted. And they had some kind of like sick bet, like who's gonna do the kid that's playing Superman first. You know what I mean? It's messed up, man. You
That
know what I mean?
is.
But Hollywood is it's dark, man. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I've known about this for a long time.
Oh
you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
It's the
And-
casting couch.
Yeah, it's a
mean-
common thing that's been going on forever.
Even with the kids, like I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Corey Feldman.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Corey
His
Feldman.
accusations, and then
Yeah.
I remember Drew Barrymore's 11th birthday party. That was a mess.
Yeah.
You see, and it gets all covered up through the media. You know, it gets all covered up, and
Yeah.
people who come out and say something get attacked, and then then everybody forgets what happens.
Well, later on, they find out that they were telling the truth.
Oh, yeah,
later
well,
on, after
listen-
they kill themselves. or
Jose
something, yeah.
Canseco is a good example of that.
What happened to Jose Canseco?
Yeah.
No, just the whole steroid accusations.
Oh, yeah. I
And
thought it was like,
everyone's like, oh, he's just trying to sell his book. He's making it all up. And then what happened?
It was
Yeah.
true.
It was true.
You get attacked, man. You get attacked, and that's how they work. You know what I
listen,
mean?
having been around steroids and bodybuilders and powerlifters most of my life, I knew when Canseco, when Bonds, when what's his name from the Cubs?
Sosa.
Sosa,
McGuire.
and of course McGuire. I used to really like McGuire, and then when he went, I was like, "You're a little bitch." You're all right, you're a big bitch, but you're still a bitch. It's like, when you cowered away from just going, "Hey, look, I did it." You know why? Because whether you people want to admit it or not, you want to see people
Yeah,
smacking
it's-
out home runs.
Right.
And that's what and you want to see your athletes at their best, and this is how we get to be our best. But then you want to act all appalled when you find out what we have to do to get there. They all fucking
Well, it
know,
just
but
takes one person to do it because then everyone's got to keep up with that one person.
right. But still, if that's if it's the game, it's the game. I'm not going to sit there and fault some kid who's from the Dominican Republic and say, "Oh, you can't take steroids." If his manager says, "Look, hey, if you take steroids, you could be playing in the majors,"
Right.
and so this kid's supposed to go, "No, I can't do that.
It's not
Instead,
right.
I'll stay here where there are no job opportunities for me
Yeah.
when I could be playing in the major leagues." No, how can you expect the kid not to? I mean,
Right.
honestly. So, but that's the hypocrisy of our people in this country.
You
that
still need the talent. Steroids doesn't give you talent.
right, exactly.
Thank
That's
you. I was
yeah.
just going to say that because I played baseball all my life, and steroids isn't going to make you hit a 100 miles per hour fastball.
No, if you couldn't,
You
hit
still
it
have to
before,
know
you
how to
couldn't-
do
yeah.
it.
You
Yeah.
got to hit 100 miles per hour
Yeah.
fastball. You know
I
what
can't
I'm
do
saying?
it.
You still got to catch the ball. You still got to throw the damn ball. You
Yeah.
got to do so much. It's not. it's gonna get you muscular and stronger. Yeah, but that don't mean shit.
But you still have to put the work in.
You gotta
Just
put the
like
work in.
people would think that, oh, that guy got big because he took steroids. That guy got big because he took steroids and worked out.
Is the recovery and the
Yes.
healing from putting the
That's
work
exactly what it is.
in. If you get sick and you go to the doctor, what's he going to do? He's going to prescribe you steroids to get
Right.
you,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, all steroids do is make your recovery so much faster, so you can work out harder at a more intense pace and
Correct.
just more frequently, and that's how you get bigger faster.
I guess it depends on the sport to me.
I go like this: it's your personal choice. That's how I feel about it. I'm one of those people go, just like you want to smoke pot. Smoke pot. I don't give a damn. It doesn't affect me whether you
Right.
smoke pot, as long as you're not out in the road or it impairs your driving or something like that. You want to stay home. You want to drink alcohol, drink it, but just don't go out and affect other people's lives with it. That's all. So,
True.
all right. So this is going to be one.
Uh-oh.
The DNC screwed Bernie Sanders out of
Hell
the
yeah.
nomination again.
Again.
And they even pulled that little stunt trying to get Bloomberg to run because they didn't think Biden was going to be able to pull it off,
Right.
and that was a
They
failed
got
attempt.
desperate. They got desperate.
Yeah, they did. They did get desperate, so desperate that they ended up pulling Barack Obama out
Yep.
to get the rest of to get Warren to drop out and to get Buttigieg to drop out and all these other people who were ahead of Biden.
He won Iowa.
He was
He
like
won New Hampshire.
fifth
He
place,
won
I think.
Nevada.
Yeah.
How the hell he?
Because
Oh,
because they were not going to let him be the
No,
nomination.
of course not.
They even had a representative from the DNC said even if he wins all these states, the DNC is not required to pick him as their
Right.
nominee.
Yeah.
So they were going to screw him no matter
Either
what.
way. Either way.
Because they're just as corrupt, and I will say this till the
But
day.
everybody played ball. They're like, okay.
Yeah, and so
step aside.
yeah, exactly because they were promised positions and
Yep.
and people go, you don't know that. You know what?
They were promised
You-
in the
if
last
you-
election too, and they
Well,
haven't
that's-
got paid yet.
Yeah, because they didn't win.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't really have to say any more about that because we just know that happened. And if there's anybody out there who still wants to pretend like that didn't happen and say, "Oh,
Even
conspiracy,"
the
didn't.
Rpublicans were saying it. They're like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Bernie
well,
got
Trump was
screwed.
saying, yeah, he did because they know he did.
That's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans stick to somebody who's if they're the ones who are at the top and they won a certain amount of states and they ending up they're going to be the one, they go with them. That's it. That's how they
Right.
did with Trump, right?
Right.
They're not going to be like spreading
It's-
them out and hoping that this guy wins. If this is the guy, that's the guy they stick with him. And that's it. It's over. No arguing, no cheating, right?
Right.
But when it comes to the Democratic Party,
Because
forget
the
about it.
Democrats are more concerned about their power money than I
Yes.
didn't think I'd ever say this, but they're more concerned about that power money than the Republicans are.
Oh, yes,
because at least Republicans went with Trump. They didn't like it.
They didn't like it.
But
They
they
went.
went with it.
That's right, and they
you know?
stuck with him.
Right, exactly, and they stuck with him even through all this BS that he's been doing. They said,
Yeah.
he's our guy, and that's what
Yeah.
we got. And they were, and that's what they probably should do because they've benefited from it, and we haven't. So
Exactly. That's the difference between when it comes to Democratic Party and Republican Party. They stick with their guy.
they're both
don't-
corrupt.
They're both corrupt as shit, but one just like, all right, if it's Trump, let's all right, fuck it. It's
Right,
Trump.
exactly.
Let's
I
do
think
it.
they own their corruption on the right. That's the thing. I think they sit there and go,
Yeah,
Trump's
especially
corrupt,
now that
McConnell's
Trump-
corrupt. Yeah,
Now that Trump
corrupt.
was the president, now it's like everybody's like, they're willing to just say whatever.
Yeah.
They're
Well-
trying to be a little bit Trump-like.
Yeah.
in their beliefs.
Of course, but
He empowered them.
You
Yeah.
look at what's his name from Texas that I can't stand.
Cruz?
Yeah, Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, man.
Ted
Good
Cruz
joke.
is the biggest hypocrite.
Oh,
you know, you remember when he ran against Trump and all the name he told him, and
yeah.
same way with Lindsey Graham, that
Oh,
little
yeah.
in the closet
All of
queen.
them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they were sitting there calling him
Cowards.
every name, and then all of a sudden now they're up there
Christie.
licking his ass and trying to fight for who
Rubio.
can get their tongue in there deepest. Yeah, Rubio too. Rubio's a
Oh, such a punk ass.
he is, and look who were the first two in line to get that vaccine when they're sitting there talking shit about how COVID ain't. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, but you got your little
Oh,
pansy
yeah.
asses up there in a heartbeat, didn't you?
Yeah. I think it's just, man, it drives me crazy when I read all these things on Facebook and people are so caught up in the images of the what Democrats put out there. You know, this image like Barack Obama's the king ding-a-ling. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
He can do no wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
He's the greatest president of all.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Really? Yeah. Ask Edward Snowden or Chelsea
yeah,
Manning or
yeah,
any of those
Yeah.
people. They
Barack
think he's
Obama
a
had a
good.
good smile. He could play basketball.
Well-
He was charismatic, but his policies were not. They're not for us.
No, they're not. And here's the thing. And this is one of the things that Carl Kreisman and I talked about when we were talking about John Adams, the second president of the United States. The founding fathers never intended for us to vote directly for the president of the United States. It was never meant to happen that way because they knew what would happen, and it's exactly what did happen. It turned into a popularity contest. So we don't pick the best person.
Right.
We picked who's popular,
who they
who's
like,
who's
the most
yeah,
popular.
The
right.
prom king.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And I think I don't know that it started with Kennedy, but it certainly was elevated with the Kennedys.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
and that whole facade of they were America's royalty and all that, and it's it's gotten worse over the decades about who's the most popular, who's better looking. I mean, when you have a question from a journalist when Clinton was running and go, "Oh, do you wear boxers or briefs?" What kind of
stupid.
friggin' question is that
That was
for
a
a
plant.
presidential
Yeah.
candidate?
So dumb.
Yeah, but it shows you that it is planned. But that's the mentality. It's like, oh, let's make this a popularity contest,
Yeah.
and we see what's happened. The founding
start
fathers are
with
right. We shouldn't be voting for them directly. We should be voting for our elected officials who should have been representing us, because now we have a more direct, because those people have to vote the way we want them to, because if
Right.
not, we can get them out.
Right.
The way it's set up now, they don't care. They know that we don't have any power with them, so
Right.
they're going to vote any way they want to vote.
You know what drives me crazy? Like African American women, right? Like Stacey Abrams, right? They talk about Stacey Abrams this and she does this. She ain't won a damn thing, first of all. And then you talk about Nina Turner and just crickets.
Right.
You can see the huge difference
Difference,
between Nina Turner and Stacey Abrams.
but Stacey
why
Abrams-
are they so freaking drawn to Stacey Abrams?
Because she plays ball. Because she's a corporate
right.
Democrat.
Thank
Same
you.
way with Kamala Harris.
Thank you.
No one wants to mention, and even people on
But then they
Facebook.
don't like Candace because she's the opposite.
But the problem with Candace is that she's disingenuous because she doesn't tell the whole truth. She does speak some truth, but she also
She's twisted.
sidesteps
Yeah.
the parts that she knows is going to discredit her argument.
But
And-
that's for the other side to point out that they
But
just
see,
never do.
here's
It's
the
a
thing.
debate,
Right, but that's my point. When you take someone like Kyle Kalinske, for instance, that man will tell you straight up, this is what's wrong with the right, this is what's wrong with the left. If he's a Bernie Sanders man, but he has called Bernie Sanders out several times to go.
A lot of them have, yeah.
Right, because there's, what's her name? Crystal Ball.
Yeah, I like watching her too.
Yeah, on the
She's
Hill.
awesome.
Like those two are great because they call out their own sides,
Yeah.
and it's not about let's have a discussion. Let's see if they can catch me. There's
Yeah,
no
no.
catching. It's like they're just going to put the truth out there,
Yep.
and that's what it should be.
That's what I like to see. I love watching Chris.
That's what I say in this show. I'm going to start something. I'm going to call it Team Truth or Tribe Truth or something, Truth Tribe or something.
Yeah.
But I want to have people on this show who are about getting to the truth.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't want no bullshit. I don't want to lean one way or the other. I just want to lean to the truth. And if it isn't truthful, then let's find the truth and let's go after that, because that's all we should be. Because the rest of this nonsense is doing nothing but dividing us.
It is. It is. I just find it strange that the majority of people, like the Democrat side, just believe this image of these neoliberals that they're the way to go and they're heroes and they're here to work for us and we cheer them on because they did a clap back at Trump or they said
Right.
this about. I don't give a shit. Everybody said something about Trump. Who gives a
Right.
shit? George Bush said something about Trump. He's a fucking hero now. George Bush.
Yeah.
George Bush.
George Bush
Yeah.
gives Barack Obama's wife a starburst at church. Who gives a shit? He killed a whole bunch of damn people.
Right, exactly. He's a war criminal. I don't care how you paint this.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's at home painting dogs and his
He was trying to
feeble-mindedness.
make up for his
Michael,
dad's mistakes.
that Bolton
Yeah.
guy, that Michael Bolton,
Yeah,
that Bolton
yeah.
guy was with Trump, or he quit and he's talking shit about Trump. That guy Bolton's the worst. He's worse than Trump.
Right, exactly.
Bolton is worse than Trump. He's not no fucking hero.
But you're right. It's like if someone speaks against Trump, all of a sudden
They're
they're
heroes.
like, "Oh, good for you."
Yeah.
And before that, they were talking shit about him, but now they're
Yeah.
they're a hero
Right.
because they said something they wanted to hear.
We made the villains the heroes because they
Yeah.
hated the villain. That, it doesn't make any sense.
They have villainized Trump. And I always say, whenever someone uses the word evil, I just discredit anything else they say from that point on, because evil is a religious term, and what it means is that this person or this thing is so bad, but I hate it so much that I want to destroy it. So instead of just going it's bad, I have to say it's evil.
Yeah. Right.
And that's what they did with Trump. Like, look,
he was a selfish businessman who became the president. That's it.
That's
and he
it.
ran the country like he's a selfish
He's
businessman.
he's a self-centered narcissist.
That's
He's
it.
not a good leader. He's not a good president. He was he had some good things that he did as president. He did a lot more shitty things as president. But give credit where credit's due and call him out. But he's not evil.
My whole point was that he did as good a job as Bush or
Right, yeah.
or Jimmy Carter, whoever.
Never.
Trump did same thing. I mean,
Right.
They never give him any credit for certain things.
No, they won't, and they're
I'm
not
willing
going
to give
to.
that man
I'm not
credit.
saying he did a great job.
Listen.
I don't think anybody's done a great job lately.
No,
The
hell no.
fact that the man stepped up and said, "Look, I'm vetoing this because I want people to get $2,000 and not your measly $600." Now, I don't know if that's self-serving. I don't know if somehow he's going to make $1 off of this or not. I don't know. If there's a way to do it, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Look,
But-
he's just being a dick. That's all he's doing. But it's okay.
He's on the way out.
He's on the way out.
I'm
If he
gonna
wants to
mess
give
it
us
up.
$2,000, okay, cool. I'll give
Yeah.
a prop for it. But he's being a dick about it. But he's also embarrassing them at the same
Well,
time.
maybe this is his way. Maybe he's like, "I'm going to bust McConnell's balls before I
Yeah,
leave."
that's what,
Yeah,
you know
so-
what you know what he should do. He should do this. Pass that stimulus package, $2,000. He should get rid of student debt. He should bring all the troops home from wars, and he'd be good to go.
Yep.
I think he'd be wiped off clean. Nobody
Everybody will forget about
all
Yep.
the bad shit he did.
Exactly. I think you're right. I think you pardon Chelsea Manning. I think you
Yeah.
pardon Edward Snowden. I think you do. You bring all the troops home, and exactly what you said. Forgive student debt.
It's not gonna happen.
If he wants,
No,
to,
I know.
If he wants to give it to him, that's the way to give it to
Because
He
him.
might pardon the Tiger King, though. I heard that.
Really?
That's what they're saying. I don't
All right, so we're going to
Yeah.
talk about Tiger King because that was this year too. Believe it or not. All righty.
Well, people were in lockdown. They ran out of stuff to watch.
I know, because I never thought I'd watch that show, and I was like,
Me
"Oh
neither. I
hell!"
watched it.
And then I was like,
I'm
"This
like-
is some crazy shit."
I'm like, why do I keep watching
I
these episodes?
And you're like, of course, half of this is in Florida.
Yeah, of course,
it's
of course. All right, the next one: California experienced its largest wildfire season in the state's history, and yet we still have climate deniers. Yeah, it's like,
See, that was Colorado. Same thing. They had tons of wildfires this year. That I think over 200 million acres burned.
wow.
So it was crazy.
That's insane. I remember seeing some of the pictures from Los Angeles from the fires,
Yeah.
and and I don't believe in heaven or hell, but if I did, I'd be like, that's what hell looks like.
what hell's like.
Yeah,
I
California.
mean,
It's some serious stuff, man.
yeah,
The world.
you have a lot of people fleeing California, and
Tons of people.
not just because of the wildfires, obviously, but because of the the crazy taxes and
17%.
and the crazy I don't know. See, they've been giving Newsom a hard time about the lockdown still, but they're experiencing the highest. Them in New York are experiencing too the highest rates of COVID, to where
Yeah,
the
the most
hospitals are
people,
full.
too.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's again, we talked about it. That's a
Well, you can't
hard
really
call.
lock down when you have police out there, fire out there, EMTs, the hospitals are open. These are the people that are at high risk
Yeah.
to get it to
Right,
begin
but at
with,
least it's
and
limited.
They're still out there.
Don't you think at least it limits it to them if you keep everybody home?
They still go home to their apartment complex or whatever
Yeah.
at the end of the day. I mean, they still have to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, like you said earlier, unless everybody were to lock down, which you can't do. You can't lock down a hospital.
Right.
I just think it's here to stay. I think, China and Africa, they've been dealing with pandemics every year, bird flus, swine flus, whatever the latest thing is. They're always wearing masks. And I think it's our turn. Now we're going to have this, and it's going to be
gonna be like this for a
COVID
long time.
season.
Well, my partner's my partner's in Taiwan, and Taiwan hasn't had an incident for for months and months. They shut that shit down. And then over in Southeast Asia, many of the countries over there, they already were wearing masks. They wear them year round. And so it hit them, I think, a lot less. Plus, they did it right. They shut everything down and said, no one's coming in, and no one's going out until this shit's gone. And they haven't had a case in forever.
So the other thing is that, I don't know if it's true or not. Everyone argues about it, but a lot of the malaria medications they think might help combat COVID, and a lot of those Asian countries, they do take malaria meds.
Well, I also heard people who take HIV meds, which was not supposed to be known, but that people who take HIV meds are less susceptible to it. I've heard about vitamin
immune system, so
right.
Makes sense.
Vitamin D3. People said that the people who suffered the highest amounts of COVID deaths were deficient in vitamin D. I just saw something today said cannabis can help against COVID.
Cannabis fixes everything.
Yeah,
exactly.
You got a sore back, it's got you.
It'll end all the wars.
Yeah.
You
lose a finger, you
It'll
put
boost
some
the
hemp
economy.
oil on there, you grow a new finger, you're good to go.
Hey, right now, let me tell you something. Getting older is a bitch. Let me tell you, because it's not that I can't do the things I did when I was younger, but damn, you feel pain everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And so my friend Ralph had, I told him I have an impingement in my shoulder, and so I can still lift and stuff, but it hurts like a bitch. And so he got me this stuff called Rafa Rub, and so it's 100% CBD oil. Now I've tried other CBD oils and it didn't work. Yeah. This stuff is 100%. I rubbed that stuff on. I was like, damn, my shoulder. I mean, like it never takes away all the pain, but at least now it's manageable.
Right.
And so that, and I got a TENS unit, and now it's starting to get rid of that impingement because I had all these damn knots in my back that were pressing against the nerve.
Right.
And so now it's starting to loosen up. But during that time, it was in pain. So now with that, like you said, put on your finger on there, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So
they just need to just legalize all this stuff, man.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like Oregon. Shout out to Oregon.
Yeah, do it and collect the tax money from it. I mean, why wouldn't you? Yeah. Really, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, man.
All right.
It'll happen. It's happening slowly.
Yeah. It needs to happen.
All right, so number 10 was Tiger King came out with Joe Exotic and Carol Baskins.
Carol Baskin.
Damn, Carol Baskin.
I know, because we're on camera, so I'll have to say it for the people who aren't going to watch this on YouTube. Who here thinks Carol Baskin killed her first husband?
Oh, absolutely. Which, the first one or the second one? Because her first husband, before the guy on the show, he died too. Mysteriously.
Really?
Yeah, she's got 2 dead husbands.
Yeah, that.
Did the other guy leave her though? The other
No,
guy
he was
on Netflix.
No,
That
guy's.
No, the guy on Netflix, the billionaire or whatever, he just went missing.
What?
No. Well, what about the guy with glasses on the show?
Yeah, the guy on the show.
Oh, that's her third husband. I don't know.
Oh, that's her third.
I thought they separated. I thought they heard they
So
separated.
the dead guy that everyone knows about, the billionaire, she definitely got rid of him.
Yeah.
She gave
her
him some
husband
tigers.
Before him, he went missing too. And she was never
We
charged.
got a serial
She fed him
killer.
to the tigers, man.
She did.
It's right there. It's right.
That's a great way to get rid of somebody. You're never gonna find the evidence.
Put him in a tiger cage.
Exactly.
Those tigers were starving too.
Yeah. Let's see here, and then of course, Joe Exotic though he was just he's an idiot. He's he wasn't thinking.
Cokehead.
How do you get so? That's like me getting pissed off at somebody in the store going down the wrong aisle, and I followed them home and I mean that kind of craziness.
Yeah. I think he was set up in some kind of way.
I do
through the show. I mean, through.
I do too.
He was set up.
That guy set him up. The one who ended up taking over his business. I think he set him up too.
He was all set up. Yeah. He's still in jail, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's in jail. Yeah.
You wait till he gets out, man. He's gonna be another show.
I don't know if he's getting out.
I don't think he is. Yeah, I don't think.
That's
he's
why he's
getting
looking for the pardon.
Yeah. I can see him calling. I can see Trump
if
pardoning
you
him.
Google Trump Tiger King, you'll find all this stuff. They've actually been in contact with each other.
Really?
Like Trump's people have been in contact with Joe Exotic.
That's
crazy.
That would just be a perfect ending to his presidency. Seriously.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I felt bad watching that show because I was like, man, what is I don't get it. And then he's got his country music songs or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that guy can sing. And then I found out he wasn't actually singing.
Him?
No, he lip syncs the whole thing.
He was singing. I thought he
Remember?
was singing, but he just wasn't singing on the video. Like he sings the songs and then he just lip syncs on the videos.
I heard it's not his voice at all. He hired somebody else to, to sing all his country music.
Don't you remember that episode when he was singing at the funeral, his boyfriend's funeral, did suicide?
Yeah.
That shit was funny as hell. He was singing.
Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't great.
I don't know.
That
Listen, if
was
anybody's
the
out
funniest
there
scene ever, man.
who knows whether or not Joe Exotic sang his own songs or not, drop me a message and let me know, okay? Okay, so you want to feel old? Macaulay Culkin turned 40 this year. 40.
That's not old.
No,
he's Ralph Macchio. Ralph Macchio's like 60. I was like, what? Karate Kid's 60 years old?
What?
Damn, Kurt.
60, yeah.
Ralph Macchio's 60
Ralph
years old.
Macchio can't be 60, is he?
I think so.
Damn.
He's got some good genes.
Yeah, because he still looks young. He's still. I mean, I know you guys watch
I
Cobra
watch
Kai.
Cobra Kai.
I love that.
I'm on the second season now, so.
Oh, yeah,
I'm trying to
we
catch
won't.
up.
Yeah, we won't tell you
we won't
anything because the
spoil it.
third season's coming out soon, so you better catch up. Yeah.
Shit, I'm turning 43 in January, man. Damn. That's crazy, right?
It is because my kids are older than me now. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, man. I remember my dad, man, in his 40s. That's crazy. Like, I remember my dad as a
Yeah.
kid in his 40s. I'm like, I'm my dad now. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's like,
I see it every day. I was like, man, I'm turning into my dad.
yeah.
Yeah, I always get mad when I have to because my best friend, we live together, and he does things that, like, he'll leave the lights on, and I catch myself going, "Do you work for the electric company or something?" And I was like, "God damn, he makes me sound just like my dad." Like, leave the front door open. What are we going to cool off the whole neighborhood? It's like,
Golly, man. I tell you. No, but you know, it's weird. I was having a conversation with somebody about it today, about my age and stuff, and it's like, I still feel like a kid, though. Like,
yeah.
I can still feel like I just got out of high school.
But
It's the weirdest thing.
Here's the thing, too. I think for guys like us who stay active, I think that's key. I think if you sat your ass on the couch for the past 20, 30 years, you wouldn't feel that way. You would feel beaten down. You would feel like your age. But when you stay active like we do, that process is much slower. So while I might feel aches and pains, I still go, you know what? I'll get in a cage today, and I'll still go
Yeah, I
against.
know you got to push through. It's just
Right.
Like, here we go.
Yeah, I don't like to use my age.
No, as an excuse. Yeah, I agree. That's why
I mean, even though I'm guilty of talking about it sometimes, like I work at a Title Boxing Club, and I'm like, damn, I'm turning 43. I'm around all these young people. They think I'm young. It feels kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like these college kids ask me to hang out. I'm like, dude, I'm 43 and I got kids and a wife. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like, it just feels weird. I like the feeling, but it's like it hurts me at the same time because I'm like, I'm getting old, man. It's like, and it sucks.
Yeah, but you know what?
All the fun is happening
If
now.
you think, listen, if you think you're getting old, just remember Mike Bell. That's all.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
that man.
I love seeing the older guys like kicking ass because then I'm like, all right, I can still do it too.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Mike
you
Tyson.
can.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
did-
loved that fight.
Yeah, Mike
look at
Tyson,
Mike
was
Tyson
great,
go.
man. He inspired me, man. I was like, look at him, man.
And he's what, like 54?
54 years old.
He's
Yeah.
in his 50s, yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to get hit by that man.
Hell no. Roy Jones ain't going back
Yeah.
to
No.
that.
Roy Jones said
He
man,
survived.
this guy hits.
Yeah, he was
54-year-old
scared.
Mike Tyson hit harder than anybody's ever been hit.
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
So
Damn. Okay, next one. This one I found funny. The Pentagon finally released UFO videos and admitted that they're UFOs, and nobody gave a damn.
Nobody gives a shit.
It's
I
like,
did. I was like,
did you?
Nobody
I
gives a
think
shit.
the UFO
why else do we have a
aficionados.
space force?
Right.
Like we just created an entirely new branch of military.
Right.
Yeah, our
outer
spaceport.
space.
And people laughed at that, though.
I know. There's
That's
a
not fun.
Netflix comedy show.
Because
about
it was Trump.
Because here's the
And
reason.
because it was Trump.
Right, but here's the other reason. Because our space force would be like Spaceballs. Seriously. I mean, these UFOs
I ain't find shit.
Comb the desert.
These UFOs would be just like doing circles around us, like playing with us. You know?
It's funny you bring that up because I thought about it. I was like, I was watching on Crystal Ball. They were talking about an Israeli big high commander came out and said that we've been in the United States and Israel have been in contact with aliens for a long time. They're called the Galaxy Federation or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
We
I
made a
saw
pact with them, and he's a high-ranking person. He's like 70-something years old, 80-something years old, coming out now and saying all this stuff. And, everybody just laughed. They just think it's funny, it's full of shit.
Until Independence Day comes.
Until they show.
In real life.
But you know what?
And we'll be calling Will Smith going, Will?
It's possible.
I
COVID,
mean,
look at COVID did to this world.
Yeah.
All we need left is just an alien invasion. Like the UFO to show up and they come out and say, "Hey, we're here to help
there's
you."
a conspiracy theory that COVID was a biological weapon from UFOs.
They're gonna come out and say, "We're here to help you, and you're all our sex slaves." You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we still got 3 more days of this year. Don't.
No, but it's crazy how something like that goes over so many people's heads. Like it's nothing. There's aliens, dude.
Because
we're not the only ones.
here's the thing: it's like everything that the government doesn't want us to know about. They send their little minions out and post things and go, "Oh, look at these conspiracy nuts." So everybody's like, "I don't want to be considered a conspiracy nut, so I'm just going to act like I don't believe this," because it's easier to make fun of it than to actually look at the evidence and believe it, because now you're going to be labeled a conspiracy nut if you go, "Hey, this," like it was funny. Some guy commented because, about my podcast, because I had this guy who was a Bigfoot expert. And the video I saw, I'm like, that is not a person in a damn outfit. It's not a costume. It isn't. And you could sit there and go, "Oh, you believe in Bigfoot." I'll tell you what, I don't know if I believe in it, but I can tell you this: I don't disbelieve in it, because whatever that was.
You talking about the Patterson footage?
Yeah, the Patterson footage.
The digital one, like
right? Yes,
like
1080p
version.
You can see the muscles.
You can see
contract.
the titties and shit.
Right.
I mean, breast. We see the breast.
Breastises.
Look. That was back in the 70s. Nobody could make a suit like that.
No,
with breasts,
when
man,
you can see
and
the
muscles.
you can see the calf
you could've
muscles,
done it.
and you could see them the way they move and contract. It's like that. Yeah, that's.
Come on, man.
I gotta say the film was not real.
Yeah. I thought so
I
too.
know a lot about that. I like Bigfoot. I actually have a friend who
You don't think the film
claims
is
to
real?
have seen Bigfoot, and he, I believe him. I don't think the Patterson. No, there's too much. Like,
Dude, who can make a gorilla suit like that?
Here's what
I know a lot of people back then that could have.
In the 70s?
Oh, absolutely.
With the muscles?
Rick
shooting?
Baker would have done that with his eyes closed easily.
Well, you have him on
man.
the show. We'll talk about it. Is he
With
alive?
breasts?
He's
With
alive. I
breasts?
think he's 70, around there.
Ask him if he wants to come on the show. We'll talk. I want to talk
Dude,
about it, because if you can, I'm with Ronnie. I've never seen anything, because
But Nelson,
you don't even
easy,
see that
easy.
stuff in the movies.
No, not even Harry and Henderson's.
No,
Rick
not.
Baker did that one. He did
Yeah,
Harry
but that's-
Anderson's.
That's
But
not close to the Patterson footage.
Yeah,
Man,
I agree.
Look. I would have believed you, but this thing had breasts.
But
Right.
this digitally
Wow.
enhanced, it's all guesswork, because you can't take that old footage. First of all, that camera that the guy got arrested for writing a bad check to buy the same camera
look,
that he filmed. The
right,
footage
I
on.
remember that. Yeah,
And
that
was
is
the
true.
first day. He went out to look for Bigfoot that day. Found him within 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that's why I was always suspect about
The guy
it.
was a
but,
con man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Man,
just. But
it
here's
sucks,
the thing.
And the guy that I think is I forget his name, Hieronymus, I believe was his last name. The guy that was in the suit came out. And
I know,
Yeah,
but he
but
could
the-
have lied about
but
it. I
when
think
you-
they disproved him.
Right, and that was the thing, because this is something that the guy who I had on the show made a point about. He said the way that Bigfoot walked and the way we walk isn't like I tried to walk that way.
Yeah.
It's you would have to practice and practice and practice
But
and
if you're
practice.
stumbling over some big old clown feet, you probably walk like that Bigfoot in that
Yeah,
video.
I don't know.
I
But
don't know, man.
I do think that Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot's extinct. I believe there was a Bigfoot. I think Gigantopithecus was Bigfoot.
well, there's
that's
too many.
proven-
There's too many stories about
Yeah.
Bigfoot on all different all the continents except for maybe Antarctica.
They
they're-
probably got one there too.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
even my older brother has a story about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
'Cause they were.
I used to work on the Bigfoot Hunter for Discovery Channel. His car, when I was at Volvo, he drove a Volvo station wagon. So I used to, and he used to come in with hair samples and everything. I was like, yeah, I believe you, but I don't think that film was
Right.
I,
Well,
yeah.
who knows? All I can tell you, I'm with you. It's like I said, it's not that I believe, but I don't disbelieve. Just like,
Right.
just like UFOs. And then all of a sudden, people always made fun of people
Yeah.
who believed in UFOs. And now
Yeah,
the Pentagon
look.
goes, oh,
Yeah, if they
there's
find
UFOs.
Bigfoot tomorrow, I won't be surprised.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like ghosts. I'm going to tell you right now, my best friend who is a horror, he loves freaking horror movies and everything horror. He loves it, but he don't believe in ghosts. And I go, I'm going to tell you right now, when I was in Germany, I lived in these barracks that were German barracks before, back during
shit.
World War. And I'm going to tell you, this is no exaggeration. I promise you. I lived on the second floor, and the third floor was abandoned. And I remember going there, going, "Why is the third floor abandoned?" And they go, "Because there's ghosts up there." Because they used to have the game room down on the first floor, and people slept down there, and so it would wake people up. And I go, "Why don't we put it up on the third floor?" And he goes, "Because the games would start playing themselves, the balls would start moving themselves." I'm like, yeah, you're full of shit. And he goes, "No, and you'll hear them marching at night." And I'll be damned. One night, I'm sitting in my room talking to my buddy, and all of a sudden you hear, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And it's like that marching. Well, there's two entrances, and they were both glass doors, and you could see through the entire place, through one door to the other. And we ran up those stairs, and looked. I could see him. He could see me. There was no one, because only the captain and the first sergeant had keys to that upstairs, and there was nobody. But I'm going to tell you right now, several times when I was there, I heard that marching, like the German soldiers used, that stepping that they used to do, and I was like,
Yeah, ghosts are real.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I lived in Berlin for 6-7 years, man. And
One of my
my
favorite
younger
cities.
brother,
Yeah.
my younger brother used to see stuff when he was a kid.
My kids ran down from I had a house over in New Smyrna, and they came down the stairs screaming because they saw this old lady in a rocking chair in the bedroom. And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, my little daughter was scared shitless. She's like, it's like, "What?" Of course,
shit.
I go there and there's nothing,
No,
but
yeah.
So I
Pesky kids.
I do have a personal ghost story. So
please tell.
it was my son was 2. We were living in Winter Springs, and he would wake up in the middle of the night, and then he'd just walk over to our room. He'd sleep like maybe 6 hours, so
That's
he
how it
couldn't make it
starts.
through. He couldn't make it through the whole night. So I would leave my bedroom door open, and he was in the next room over. I remember it was the summer. It was really hot. I woke up. It was like 2:30, and I look in. We had night lights everywhere in the hallway so that he could find his way. And I see this. It looks like a person, but it's all black, walking from my son's room. And it's not an adult, but it's not a kid. It's about the size of like a 12-year-old boy or something like that. And we were living in the hood, so I was like, "Oh, somebody broke in my house." So I put my hand over my wife's mouth, and I wake her up. And I point, because we're seeing this, this person just stroll down the hall. So I wake her up, and I point at the person. So she's, scared. She doesn't know what to do. I grab my gun, and I see where the person's going. They're going into my kitchen now. My kitchen loops all the way around to like the living room. So I was like, "Oh, I got this dude right where I want him. I'm just going to run down the hall, flick the light on. He can't get away. I got him." So, I want her to go check on my son, make sure, because that's where it was coming from, my son's room. So I see the person turn in the kitchen. I take off, turn the light on. There's nothing there at all. Check the whole house. My son's sleeping in his bed. So I saw it. I woke her up, and she saw it too.
Yeah, both
Right.
saw it.
And I'm thinking some kid broke in my house, probably trying to steal, video games or whatever. And it was nothing. So turns out, this is where it gets really crazy. My sister was coming to visit. She was living in New York. The next week she comes to visit, and she brings a friend with her. And they're like, "Oh, tell them about the psychic in the airport." So my sister's like, No, it's nothing. And she says, her friend wanted to get a reading. So they walk in. It's some makeshift little place in the airport in New York. And the psychic points to my sister and says, "I'll do your friend's reading, but," she says, "I have a message for you." And then my sister's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then she says, "Yeah." She says, "When you see your brother, tell him that you're your friend is watching over his kids. And she's like, what? She has no idea. And then she says, I don't know what you're talking about. She says, yeah, you have a friend is an Asian guy. He passed away in high school. My sister, no idea what the psychic's talking about. She ends up calling one of her best friends from high school and says, I had this weird experience. And she said, yeah, I remember prom night, a couple kids got drunk. It was, one of their friends, this little Asian guy. So he died.
Oh, shit.
So she tells me this story like a week after this. We see this little short thing walking through So then when I told her that, like, yeah, my wife is super conservative, superstitious. She's like, no, like this experience. We moved.
We out.
Like, we had to leave. Yeah, no, we moved.
You guys bounced out.
Yeah, she's like, no, we need to get out of there. We need to get. So it was really weird. I was like, was that? I saw something. Was it this figure that some psychic told her about? Was it something else? But I'm like, no, it was definitely something. It looked like a person.
Yeah.
Right.
I couldn't see the clothes or anything, but I saw the arms and the legs, and I'm like, okay. Too small to be an adult. And
I have a couple stories like that, but not that like creepy.
We're Puerto Rican, man. Yeah. It's part of the process of growing up. You're gonna have something supernatural happen.
But I think that
there's no escape from it.
You know what it is like white people were so skeptical. We're cynical. We're not just skeptical. We're cynical. And so I think white people experience it a lot less than people of color. And because they're just so cynical, they refuse to see it. Like they'll see something, they'll just go, that was nothing. They won't even look. Like you're going to go check it out. We wouldn't have gotten out of bed. We go, that's nothing.
So, go to sleep, Martha.
Exactly.
Nah, man. I've experienced. We'll be here all day.
Exactly.
I know this. Yeah, we can be here all day.
Maybe next time you do some kind of supernatural, paranormal.
But I got to have my friend Teddy Fresh in with that. It would have you guys and Teddy Fresh because, if I don't know about Puerto Ricans, but black guys, look, there could be, seriously, think about this. You could have 15 white guys and one black guy, and these 15 white guys going to go, we're going to kick your ass, and he'll be like, let's go.
Yeah.
But you could have 15 black guys and one guy who's dressed up like a zombie, and then they just they take off. Anything supernatural, and they're like, we're out of here. They don't want to mess with anything.
Too many horror movies.
They
die first, so you better run.
Well, and it's funny because they'll sit there and say, we're not sticking around. When that kind of stuff happens, we're gone. We're out of there. Because, only white people are stupid enough to sit there.
I'm going to go check this out.
Exactly.
The hell I'm not. I'm not leaving. I'm going in this cave.
I pay my taxes.
Exactly. Okay. Back to something a little bit more serious. This year we've seen record high unemployment and evictions, and they're just going to continue getting worse, unfortunately, unless we get this second stimulus. Because as we had talked about earlier, we saw the first stimulus check, so we'll put these two together, where we only received 30% of the money. The rest of it went to big corporations. Some went to small business, which not nearly as much as to the big corporations.
Apply for that too.
Right.
Is it true that it was going to go to other countries too?
I don't. It went to some government agencies, but I don't know. But here's the thing, and when people talk about we need to take care of America first, people need to understand that the money that we give to other countries, that is taking care of America. Because for our thought is like what went on in South Africa during the 60s, when England went in there and made sure that Russia, because the Queen actually went there to talk them out of letting Russia, take care of them, because now they're spreading communism. We're trying to spread democracy, or that's what we call it. But what it really comes down to is that we want to have our hand in as many pots as possible, so we can, take from that country and their resources and everything else. So it's just like who gets to use these smaller countries, these third world countries first? Right. Is it going to be Russia, or is it going to be us, or is it going to be China? And fortunately for some of these smaller countries like the Philippines, you have Duarte over there who, he's like, I'll kick all you Americans out. Now, normally that would be the end of his reign, because America would, have their, the CIA go over there, plant their little people over there to rally up against this guy. But Duarte was smart enough to go, I'll bring China in. Now they'll be off limits to us.
Right.
So he was very smart about that. But when we give money to these countries, it's not because we're being, this altruistic country where we're going, we want to help everybody. No, we're doing it for control and for our own benefit.
Right.
So those are payments we're always going to make, and we're always going to have to make. And we'll make those before we take care of the people in this country, because they want to keep that power.
Right.
So, so with this second round of stimulus, with Trump, and with Bernie Sanders having said, for months now that it needed to be $2,000, Trump has gone on board. The Democrats, because it's advantageous for them to get on board, they've gotten on board. So now it's going to come down, and it's supposed to be a standalone bill. So Mitch McConnell can't blame it on anything else and say, well, the reason we're not voting for it is because blah, blah, blah. No, it's a standalone bill. If you vote down this stimulus package, it's because you are telling people in this country, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it hasn't passed yet.
No, well, there'll be a vote tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, all the previous attempts, like you said, now
right.
it's a standalone.
It's a standalone bill, so he can't make any excuses. Pelosi can't make any excuses. There's no game plan. It's either you give us $2,000 or you don't. It's that simple. So, so all we can do is hope for the best, because again, I know, fortunately, knock on wood, I'm not in a bad situation where I'm dependent on it, but I know there are a lot of people out there who are hurting badly, who have been unemployed.
It's not going to fix it, but they need it.
But they need it. They need to just be able to pay their electric bill, to be able to eat, food, to maybe keep themselves in their apartment or the home longer so that they don't get kicked out. And
it's a shame, man. It's a shame that this is America, man.
Yeah.
And we have droves of people in the lines trying to get food, and it's just something that I never thought I would experience.
Unfortunately,
in my lifetime.
I think it's going to get a lot worse.
Oh yeah,
I think it's going to get not just because of COVID. It's because of the way, and there could be an argument that the stimulus package is going to hurt us even more. But at this point, it's
yeah. What else?
The thing is, they spend the money right away, so it goes right back into the economy.
Right, it does. That's why I said any money that went to the corporations was a sham. For us to sit there and pretend like this money was helping them, you could have given us all the money. Those corporations would still be in business, because we're still going to go there and still shop there and still get our, and buy their products, and their services. So that was just like the housing nonsense where we say where we have to bail out the banks. No, we don't. Bail out the mortgage holders, the owners,
the people.
Right,
Yeah.
They're going to pay those houses off. The banks are going to get their money, but they're not going to get the money and the houses, and that's what happened. And so that was the sham, the
biggest sham of all.
Yep,
right there. But that was under Obama.
Yep, it was. Yeah, and he sold that bill of goods
didn't do a damn thing for people that lost their homes, and. But yet, nobody. You say one word bad about them, you'll get attacked.
Right.
You'll get attacked, man. So.
All right, we got two more things, and these are pretty quick things. So, because I know you guys are on a time crunch here today, so let's. The last real thing is this was definitely the year of the Karens, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
I didn't even know what it was. I'm like, what's a Karen? I saw, I think it was around Halloween. They had Karen wigs at the Halloween store, and it said Karen. I was like, what is this?
Karens have been around.
They've been around forever.
Centuries.
They just didn't have a name.
Decades, right?
Yeah.
And they have been, and they've been playing their victimization card forever and ever. And they're white women who sit there, feel entitled and privileged, and know that they can use the fact that they're a woman, that men are going to come rescue them, and so they'll make up shit and start shit and sit there and call the police, and then especially again against people of color, and those cops come running up. There's a poor white woman and a bad black man, or whatever, and they've gotten away with it forever and ever. And thank God for camera phones, because now they're it's people are noticing and going, oh. Now, I will say on the back end of that, now you got these little smart ass kids who will start shit, get people riled up and go, "Oh, you're a Karen. You're a Karen." No, you were being a dick and you were just trying to get her riled up so you could have video to post on YouTube is what it was. And you can tell who those people are. They're the same ones who
argue with police.
Right. They're real First Amendment auditors, and they go and they call these cops out and they put these cops in their position. Yeah. But then you have these assholes who go out there and there's I guess an ordinance that you can't smoke out in public out in Santa Monica or somewhere in California. So this guy's got one of those candy ass cigarettes, and so he's trying to go, and the cop's going, "Sir, you can't smoke." And the cop's being nice. He's just saying, "Hey, you can't smoke." And of course he's like, "Whatever," And so they pull over, and he's like, that was a great prank, So it's like you have nothing better to do than waste their time because you want to act like a child. Yeah. So
that gets kind of stupid, man. But those auditor dudes are funny.
They are. But then what happened is the cops no longer play along. So now they go to businesses and screw with the businesses and go. And so people from the business go, "Look, dude, don't do that." And they go, "We could do what we want." And it's like, really, you're going to go now? You're going to go bother them because the cops won't play your game anymore.
They're being bullies and assholes.
Right, exactly, and that's the difference.
That Freeman guy, right? Freeman.
I watched like 3 or 4 of them. I quit watching them, and just because they started bothering businesses,
started getting desperate.
Right? And I was like, now you're not sticking up for yourself. Now you're, like you said, you're just being a bully and an asshole. All right.
You watch that, Auditors?
No,
it's funny.
It's probably best you don't.
You'll get addicted for a while. It's funny.
Yeah, it is.
Because you can't believe that they're doing that kind of stuff.
I have to limit myself to Karen videos because I could watch those all day. Because I just
try to go down one rabbit hole at a time.
Yeah. Last but certainly not least, this month is the 1-year mark for the Powers Project podcast, and of course, you guys. Thank you.
Congratulations, man.
As I had stated earlier before the show, it's like I'm really proud of what we've done. I'm proud to have you guys, be my Eddie Bravo and my Joey Diaz.
Wait a minute, who's Joey Diaz, man?
Look into it.
Brendan Schwab, okay?
Oh man!
And so I'm really proud. I could not be happier with the progress that we've made. I mean, from the days when we first started last year, just doing audio to doing video, and then the video being messed up, it seemed like every other time we did it. And now, we've got it down pretty pat. And like I said, with Joe Rogan moving to Texas and starting his new studio, even that man who's been doing this for 11 years, so he's got 10 more years under his belt than I do. They still messed up his show like 2 or 3 times in the past couple months because of sound or video or whatever. And I go, see, it's okay, and that's what. And you don't have to be perfect. And I think one of the things about podcasting is that the people like that you're genuine and that you're real, and they grow with you. So as long as you continue getting better, they're okay. But if you suck and you stay sucky, they're going, we'll find somebody else. Yeah. But if they see you moving along and progressing, and with the guests I've had on this show so far, and like we said, we've had some Joe Rogan guests on this show with Joe Rogan conversations, and I think that really the only thing I can do much better for this show is for me to get better as a host. And I actually I had a guest on yesterday, a comedian from New Orleans, and I watched myself, which I find hard to do sometimes, but I was like, oh, that's the best I ever did as a host. So I feel like even my skills are getting better. I tend to still repeat things. Like it's always pointed out to me that I go and I say this too much. I'll sit there. Like I'll sit there and I'll do this, or I'll sit there and I'll do that. And
I didn't even notice.
I don't know either until he pointed it out to me. He goes, "Oh, I'll sit there," and I go, "Okay, I get it." So, but you'll notice things like that, and then so you want to get better and provide a better product for the people out there. So that's my goal, to do that, and I want you guys to come along for the ride. I love having you here. Yeah. I love that. You're both, you're both free thinkers, critical thinkers, and you're both highly intelligent, and we can talk about anything
Yeah,
from ghosts
anything.
to politics. So I love that. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Kirk, man. I appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
man.
And,
Thank you. This is awesome, man.
Thank you
We'll
to
keep it
Ronnie
going.
and Nelson's wife for letting them come play.
You hear that, baby? You hear that?
I really appreciate it. I know that their time is very valuable, and that you probably don't get enough time with them. So I thank you for letting them come here and spend some time with me and having some fun and
I'll give you the $20 after.
yeah. Well, any last parting words going into 2021?
I don't know, man. I'm just gonna be optimistic.
There you
But
go.
I'm feeling more pessimistic right now. So
No. I'm going all out, man.
There.
Yeah.
I'll just say keep plugging away.
Yeah.
Keep your chin up and keep. Winston Churchill, for all the things that he was, the guy was. He never quit. And and I go, look, if we could be like him and just go, chin up, cheerio, and all that good stuff. Just keep plugging away. And as I said on another podcast, it's not that our situation always gets better, but we get better. And when we get better, we can handle situations better.
Right.
And so in respect, it does get better. So. All right, gentlemen. Well, I'm going to let you go so you can get home so you don't get yelled at.
Right. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, sir.
And folks, thanks for joining us. And until next time, which will probably be 2021, you take care, be safe, and still wear your mask.